Welcome to LitWErnest, where we dive into the world of literature and explore its significance in our lives. Today, we're going to tackle a unique literary work that has shaped the course of American history, the U.S. Constitution. As a foundational document, the U.S. Constitution is often viewed as a dry historical text, but it's so much more than that. It's a living, breathing document that has been interpreted and reinterpreted over time, influencing literature, art, music, and culture in profound ways. So, let's start by setting the context. The U.S. Constitution emerged in 1787, during a time of great turmoil and transformation in American history. The Revolutionary War had just ended, and the newly independent colonies were struggling to define themselves as a nation. It was against this backdrop that a group of visionary leaders, including James Madison, Benjamin Franklin, and Alexander Hamilton, came together to craft a document that would shape the future of America. In terms of literary background, the U.S. Constitution relates to several key traditions, including Enlightenment thinking, classical republicanism, and social contract theory. These influences can be seen in the document's emphasis on reason, individual rights, and the consent of the governed. For example, the concept of "we the people" in the preamble is a nod to the idea that government derives its power from the collective will of the citizens. Constitution. One notable example is the use of metaphor, as seen in the phrase "a more perfect union." This metaphor suggests that the union is a dynamic, evolving entity that can be improved over time through collective effort. Another example is the use of allusion, as seen in the reference to the blessings of liberty in the preamble. This allusion nods to the idea that freedom is a fundamental human right, one that has been enshrined in American culture since the Revolution. In terms of cultural impact, the U.S. Constitution has influenced everything from literature to art to music. For example, Herman Melville's Moby Dick contains numerous allusions to the U.S. Constitution, while Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech drew upon its language and ideals. The document has also been invoked in popular culture, from films like Mr. Smith Goes to Washington to TV shows like The West Wing. One of the most significant aspects of the U.S. Constitution is its use of rhetorical devices, such as repetition and anaphora. For example, the phrase "we the people" is repeated throughout the document, emphasizing the idea that government derives its power from the collective will of the citizens. Another example is the use of antithesis, as seen in the phrase "life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." This antithesis highlights the tension between individual freedom and collective well-being, a tension that has been at the heart of American politics since the founding. Despite its many strengths, the U.S. Constitution is not without its flaws and controversies. The document's silence on issues like slavery and women's rights has been widely criticized, and its amendments have often been used to justify discriminatory practices. However, it's also important to recognize the ways in which the U.S. Constitution has been used as a tool for social justice, from the civil rights movement to the present day. For example, the 14th Amendment, which was passed in 1868, ensured that former slaves would be granted citizenship and equal protection under the law. This amendment has been used to protect the rights of countless marginalized groups, including women, LGBTQ individuals, and people with disabilities. More recently, the 26th Amendment, which lowered the voting age from 21 to 18, has expanded the franchise to include younger citizens. In conclusion, the U.S. Constitution is a rich and complex literary work that continues to shape American culture and politics today. Its influence can be seen in literature, art, music, and film, and its relevance remains undiminished in the 21st century. As we navigate the complexities and challenges of our time, the U.S. Constitution remains an essential guide for understanding the principles of justice, equality, and freedom that underpin our society. Like this episode if it hit true. Share it if you respect honest talk about books. Subscribe because we'll do this again. This is Ernest, signing off.